Hi everyone, hope you've had a lovely week, and we're here with motivator number 8. We're going to tone up the waist this week, working on your oblique muscles. Let's just do that posture and Pilates core principle check first. The lengthened spine, shoulders drawn back, chin towards your throat, core muscles are switched on. Let's do a couple of big breaths. Let's blow the cobwebs away, infuse the body with some oxygen. This time when you big breath in, the right hand is going to catch the left and the left foot's going to step behind. Little curtsy and side reach to stretch through the side of the body. Release down, same to the other side. Catch the hand, step behind, bend those knees and reach over. Super. Into a roll down, let's prepare that spine. Let's get connected to that spine. Core muscles in, drop the chin to the chest. Fold yourself forward, keep the tummy scooped, remember, relax the arms, and of course, as always, you can bend those knees. Take the time to allow your mind to connect with your spine, with your body, keeping the core muscles zipped up all the way through. Restack that spine. Feel a little taller. This time we're going to go over to the side. Keep the hips in the center as you reach one arm over to other side. Core muscles supporting all the way through as you lower down. Come to the center, briefly look between your legs, scoop up and restack. Be smooth and fluid as you go into the other arm. Reaching over, remember hips in the center. Core muscles supporting, collapse yourself down into the center. Briefly look between the legs before you restack. All the way to the top. Okay, we're going to come back down to the floor with a plain roll down. Relax the arms forwards. Hands and knees down to the floor. We're going into a kneeling spine twist. Squeeze your bottom to support the back. Make sure those hips stay pointing forwards all of the time. Take the fingers in front of you. You're going to twist your upper body to one side, remembering to keep the hips facing the front. So imagine those hips as a set of headlights pointing forwards all the time whilst the upper body rotates, like a lighthouse if you like. You can keep those elbows bent and fingers pointing together if you wish. Slightly harder will be to take the arms wide. Still working on rotating from the waist. Check those hips pointing forwards. Core connection all the way through. Keep the shoulders dropped and the neck long. Here's your third level. Pulsing 3 times, pulling the elbow back, trying to get just that little bit more movement out of the waist. Still with the hips pointing forwards, of course. Always breathe out as you twist. If you're doing the little 3 pulses, 3 breaths out as well. Relaxing from there then. We're going to go into a mermaid. I'll start with the lower level on the elbow and bottom knee bent. Make sure you lift up through the rib cage and draw the shoulder away from the ear. Maintain that stance there. As you exhale, press down with the elbow and knee, lift up through the hips, arm floats overhead, and again. So this is your lower level, elbow and knee. You can come up onto your hand. It's exactly the same though, you'll just come up a little higher. Make sure you stabilise that shoulder, of course. Same thing. Pressing down with the hand and the knee, lifting that hip up, floating the arm overhead. And then your higher level, you'll take both legs straight. Your top leg will be in front. Same again, stabilise the shoulder, lifting up, lifting the hips as high as you can. Arm floats overhead. Breathe out to lift up. Breathe in to melt down. Keep your eyes looking forwards. Keep the neck in line with the spine. Shoulders stabilised all the way through. One more of these. We're going to stay on this side. You're going to come onto that knee after a little stretch, of course. So the knee that you were just resting on, you're going to come up onto that knee. The other leg stretches out. Arms go out at shoulder height. Core muscles are connected. Tip to the open side. Fingers just touch the floor. Over to the other side and reach with that arm. 3 more times. Tipping. Just touch the floor. Use your core muscles. Pivot the body from the hips. Notice how the legs do not move. Breathe out to exert each time. Use your breathing into the ribs, of course, so that you keep the core muscles switched on. The last one. Now we're going to turn down. The knee that's on the floor, the same hand side will go to the floor. Other arm reaches forwards. And then you'll turn forwards and back, bringing elbow and knee towards each other. Elbow tucks into the waist. The leg stretches out. You have the option here that stretching, moving leg can touch the floor, or it can stretch out in the air and hover. Really working into the waist, bit of balance too, of course. Notice how that knee on the floor is directly underneath the hip. Keep breathing. Hang in there. Super. Little child's pose to rest. Before we go to the other side, we're going to lie on our back and do some traditional oblique moves. I've got 3 levels for you. Fingers behind the ears. Back stays glued to the floor all the way through with this one. So, shoulder to opposite knee. As the leg comes up, upper body twists, shoulder to opposite knee. Next level, no resting on the floor, the legs go one up, one down. Upper body stays lifted and you twist. Next level up, the legs stretch. Keep your back glued to the floor. One more add-on. Pause and lift that straight leg up and down. So 3 twists, straight leg comes up and down. So you're holding that twist just for an extra couple of seconds. Keep breathing. Your back and bottom should be glued to the floor. It's just the shoulders that are walking from side to side. Try and keep those elbows wide. And breathe. Hug in and rest. Let's go to the other side then. We're on the mermaid. Elbow, knee and top leg straight. Core muscles in. Shoulder away from the ear, lift up through the rib cage, engage. As you exhale, press down with the knee and elbow, float the arm overhead, and then rest down as you breathe in. That's your easier level. Same as before, we'll come up onto the hand. You can stay with this level instead if you wish. Shoulder away from the ear as always. Engage, and as you exhale, float the hip. Reaching the arm overhead, of course. As always, Pilates aims for fluid, smooth movements. Try to keep that in your technique if possible. And then that harder level, straighten both legs out. Remember your top leg is in front. Lifting the hip as high as you can, pressing into the hand, really using the obliques on the underside to lift you up. I've done 4 of these. I think we've got 1 more here. Little stretch over to the other side before we go on to the hand drop. So the knee you were just resting on, you're going to stay on that knee. Arms out at shoulder height then, other leg stretches out. You're just going to tip over to the side, fingers touch the floor, and then reach overhead. And do it all over again, really using the core muscles to pivot the upper body from one side to the other. Those fingers just tickle down to the floor. We've got 1 more of these. Then we'll turn to face the floor. Take that hand to the floor. Stretch the other arm overhead, nice straight line. And then it's elbow down into the ribs, thigh area as the knee comes up. And same as before, you can allow that foot to touch the floor for a little bit of security if you wish. Otherwise, allow the leg to stretch and hover. Notice how the chest is pivoting, open to the side and then closing off towards the floor. I did 8 of these. Hang in there and keep breathing. Super. Little rest here. Shake out through the hands. We're going to go down to the floor on our tummy now. We're going to do a back extension. Legs stay unaffected from this move, so keep those legs loose. Core muscles are drawn in, of course. Try not to blow the tummy into the floor. We're going to take fingertips to the temples. As you exhale, float up, reach one hand down to the thigh. Come back as you breathe in, melt to the floor. Then we'll go to the other side. So we're just pivoting through the upper body, back extension lifting up, reaching to the side, back down to the floor, and then the other side. Notice how the feet and the legs don't spring into action. Next level up, if you wanted to take it up a notch, you float up, stay engaged through the lower back muscles, and simply go from one side to the other, stopping in the middle, just for a breath, actively working through the core and the back and the obliques. Remember, avoid pressing your tummy down into the floor. Keep the belly button sucked in, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Let's do a cat stretch now. So draw in as you breathe in, lift the back up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to do a wonky cat. So leave the knees where they are, take the hands out to the side. Same again, breath in, tummy in, back draws up towards the ceiling. Go to the other side. Really try and feel the length running through the spine as you do this one, releasing through the lower back and across your shoulders. Okay, into a V-sit now. So feet on the floor to start with, your level 1, feet on the floor, arms out in front of you. Keep that lower back pressed forwards, but notice how I'm leaning back at a diagonal. Bringing the elbow back quite simply, forcing the chest to twist, working those obliques. Adding on if you wish. If your left arm is reaching back, stretch your left leg out in front. Just add a little more to that ab challenge to keep you stable. On those sitting bones, remember, avoid allowing yourself to sink back into your lower back. And here's your third level, hovering both feet. You've really got to trust in your core muscles for this one to keep you balanced. Shoulders down away from the ears, back nice and straight. Avoid collapsing into your lower back. Hang in there, keep breathing. And release. Lengthen the legs and reach forward. Our final move now, we've got hip rolls. As before, I'm going to start with the lower level. So you lay on your back, arms stretched out at shoulder level, feet and knees together. You're simply going to do what it says on the tin. We're going to roll the hips from one side to the other. Keep your shoulders glued to the floor. That's your easier level, keeping the weight of the legs on the floor. Next level up, of course, would be to bring the knees over the torso a little bit and simply roll from side to side. Aim to breathe in to lower the legs to one side. Breathe out, engage the core strength to bring the legs back to the center. I'm going to add on now. As you drop the legs over to the left-hand side, the right leg, the top leg, will stretch and kick forwards. That'll just add a little bit more work onto it if you wish, making it harder still. You can keep that leg straight as you pivot from one side to the other. You're just adding more weight, forcing the obliques to work that little bit more. And as always with Pilates, what we can do with one leg, we can build up through the levels and do with 2 legs. So notice how I'm pausing on the side, bend the knees, straighten them out, and then pivot over to the other side. Bend and straighten, really drawing those core muscles in, utilising those oblique muscles, keeping the shoulders pinned to the floor, and a little rest and a hug in to finish. Your work here is done. We've just got to stretch out now. So sitting comfortably, my legs are crossed. You don't have to have your legs crossed if that's not comfy for you. Do feel free to sit on a cushion, of course, if that suits you better. Keeping your bottom glued to the floor, we're going to sway from one side to the other. I call this rainbow stretch. Lifting up through the rib cage. Little add-on here, we're going to turn to face the floor, then turn back to face the front, sway to the other side, turning again, really getting rotation through the rib cage as you reach over and twist. Super. I do hope you've liked that. Keep it going, add it into your daily routine, and I will see you next time, everybody. Bye.